Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher. All new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
No one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Tom, best food holiday?
That's got to be Thanksgiving.
I don't know. I still stand by my belief that turkey's BS. Turkey's a con. Just because a bunch of people in funny hats. It was the only wild game around. We have to eat this dry meat now every November. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, but there's a thing called gravy, Kevin.
I would submit that the best food holiday is actually Yom Kippur. Counterintuitive because you're fasting for 24 hours, but there is nothing better than breaking a fast. It is the holiday equivalent of eating a pizza after a half marathon. Yom Kippur break fast is the best food holiday. This is Pack Your Knives. I'm Kevin Arnovitz.
And I'm Tom Haberstroh.
Tom, really interesting episode of Top Chef. A favorite goes down. We have a great Victoire week. We got Amar getting off the schneid. We've got a lot of parody. A lot of parody on this season's Top Chef. Buddha on the bottom, and there's just, we cannot really get a feel. There is no one breaking out of the pack. There is no one who is overly precarious. It is a open field. I think I am ready to bury this notion that there are 2 chefs that are better than any of the others, or even 3. I want to get your first impressions.
If you had told me the 2 trios, bottom and top, I'm not going to tell you which one's bottom or which one's top, but if I had told you Amar, Victoire, and Ali, and then the second trio was Begonia, Buddha, and Gabri, which one are you picking to be in the top this episode?
No, and that's the right heuristic, right? Like, that's how you know a season is just wide open, is if you say, right, like, here are the two groups, top and bottom, which one is which, and if and we have consistently the last few weeks just been completely backwards. So let's run through quickfire, because we also, Tom, am I correct? Is it official? We have a very interesting guest coming on in just a little while.
Yeah, last minute, just kind of trying to get someone who has a Yom Kippur experience. Pesach.
Yom Kippur is September, October.
Oh, well, I'm saying, isn't that what you were describing as the best holiday meal?
I was describing breakfast as best holiday meal, but that
and
is not
Sarah
this
can
holiday.
Chime in? Well, I'm saying Sarah can chime in as a Jew on this episode of Top Chef. She can talk about the best holiday meal. She can explain that because we're gonna have Sarah Bradley on right now. Well, I guess later in a few minutes, once we kind of run through this episode, she's got a couple minutes for us. And we're so excited to have Chef Sara Bradley back from the Kentucky season, hailing from Paducah, Kentucky at Freight House. We're going to have Sara Bradley to join us. And she was in the middle of this episode, not in the bottom three, not in the top three, in either the quickfire or the elimination challenge. So she's kind of this, unbalanced or impartial, balanced observer of the action in this episode. I'm curious to see if she has some insights on the previous episodes that we've seen. So excited to have Sara on the show. But Kevin,
she's the perfect impartial judge because true, Tom, of the 11 contestants, she was the only one to not appear in front of a judge individually this week.
Oh, wow. Yes. So she basically was a judge herself.
Yes.
And I can't wait to ask her about her hand, her just manual spreadsheet. This like by hand, she's doing a spreadsheet. And I'm so glad that the magical elves gave us a little sneak peek of that. It could have been, tossed to the cutting room floor that we didn't need to know that. I needed to know that, Kevin. I needed to know the methods, the parameters, the color coding, the shading that Sara does. We're going to ask her that and many more things coming up in a little bit. But yes, the first quick fire, they had to make a dish with mead and honey. Whew, Kevin, it's an interesting start.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, make it sweet, make it not too sweet. Can you do something with this this fermented honey alcohol? I mean, it's basically, I guess, it's funny. Mead, actually, I'd never really been familiar of it. I watched Top Chef, and it is a clue. It's an answer in the Thirsty New York Times crossword puzzle. This very day, the very day mead is featured on Top Chef, it is also an answer in the New York Times crossword puzzle, which is an incredible coincidence. I guess is it like
no,
Tej?
Kevin, there are no mistakes, no coincidences in life, Kevin. Keep your third eye open. I see I'm connecting the dots here. Is there some sort of New York Times Bravo?
This is your Illuminati voice talking, but
That's right.
Yeah, cooking with alcohol, you have to kind of burn it off. I guess mead is like Tej, which is like sort of Ethiopian honey wine. I guess I wasn't that familiar with it. So let's make something. Let's make it sweet, but not too sweet. My boy Tom ends up with the winner, kind of the most, I think, refined dish of the 11, a duck with a honey caviar. Charbel gets a nice call out with his squash with feta cashew, honey, and mead sauce. I kind of love like kind of squash with feta and a nut. Jelena does a dish like that and out of the cookbook that I make frequently. And Victoire gets on the board. She is both. She's present both in quickfire top 3 and elimination top 3 with her shrimp guacamole with endive. We got Cilia Spud on the bottom with dumplings with honey mustard. Go figure. Amar with his overly sweet chicken and orange pancakes, which I guess is sort of like kind of a chicken and waffle sort of variation.
Sweet on sweet on sweet. As soon as he was making it, I was just like, oh boy, I hope there is some acid. And he did not have much acid to cut that. But you know what? Yeah. That was the calm before the storm for Amar.
Yes. And Nicole, who kind of did a high degree of difficulty, give that to her. Her Zebbione with honey strawberries just kind of fell flat. And I don't know. I don't think a terribly notable quickfire, but still, I mean, I was glad to see Tom kind of. I feel like he has been one of the more consistent chefs, but just hasn't really broken out. I'm still kind of holding on to him as one of my. I think I have contestants that I have the best long-term prospects for on my roster. But I don't think a barn burner of a quickfire, but nonetheless.
Yeah, Begonia's anchovies Mediterranean cookie that Padma dropped, but it was still fine. I appreciate the ambition on that one, kind of outside the box thinking, which she has shown before. She nails those sort of like tarts, little cookie type dishes, and I think Begonia, there was nothing here or in previous episodes that led me to think that this was a foreshadowing that she wasn't going to do well in the elimination challenge. But as we're about to discuss, I think the elimination challenge worked very much against Begonia, and I am so upset to see her go home. But Kevin, now I'm happy about this Last Chance Kitchen. I am very excited because, excuse me, you know how we don't like, the stakes of, you get back into the competition twice instead of just once at the end of Last Chance Kitchen. We find out from the previous Last Chance Kitchen of last week's episode with Dale and May and Luciana that the person is coming back into the competition. So going into this elimination challenge, I was kind of like, all right, well, whoever goes home here kind of coming back into the competition. So, all right. We're gonna see what happens here. I hope one of my chefs doesn't go home, and we find out they're going to Kent, Kevin. They're going to Kent for a little holiday getaway. I've never been to Kent. Can you talk to me? Do you have a scouting report on Kent?
I got to be honest with you. I have only been outside of the M25, which is sort of the London Beltway, once to go to Oxford for an afternoon. So I am, though I've been to London countless times. My family's over there. I have never been outside into that area. So I am not into the kind of rural, all spaces are kind of drafty and cold and damp part of England. I'm only familiar with like central London and North London. I do want to talk about first of all, let me say this about the Last Chance Kitchen. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Last Chance Kitchen. I think it's a great 15 minutes of television. I think it's a little early for my taste. I think it's a little early to be coming back with double-digit number. They kind of have been pushing it a little bit each season, and I'm very pro LCK, but I'm pro it really having to be a tough road. Like, I don't think there should just be this, oh, hey, with 10 chefs left, just come on back. Like, I think you have to really, you got to remember those early seasons where it was like a grind.
Yes.
And I do think that the endurance of it, that to me is so I'm not thrilled to hear that they're doing this already, though I would love to see, obviously, Dale back. He's one of mine. I would love to see Begonia back because I just think she's a fantastic chef. Can we talk a little bit about even before Sarah comes on, I do want to talk about what I thought was an interesting elimination challenge, the holiday meal, right? Which is every chef. So they go to this vacation house in Kent. And they will be cooking in a vacation house kitchen. So this is not an industrial kitchen. This is not a restaurant kitchen. This is not the Top Chef kitchen, right? And they will be preparing.
They have a budget too. Yes,
they have a budget.
Which we don't really spend too much time on the whole Whole Foods segment of shopping, but there is kind of some game theory here with everyone has a $90 budget or £90 budget so that they can get under their quota. And it seemed like everything going into this, Kevin, seemed like they were playing nicely. There wasn't any bristling or any sort of dysfunction amongst the group. It seemed like, okay, we're going to play this fair and we're going to, pitch in together. I thought maybe Gabri was going to get a loan from Tom since Tom had immunity, but that didn't work out. He didn't need a loan this time, which much to everyone's surprise and elation. But once the whole burner stuff happens and the oven and the space and that gets all hashed out, I thought, you know what? We're going to get some real friction here for this elimination.
So there are a couple of things about this challenge. I mean, the first is I forget who said it, but this was a potluck challenge, right? This is basically everybody make a dish, and I think there was some mindfulness to, hey, somebody should do something a little room temperature or salady, and there should be at least nominally kind of mains, but that it is essentially a potluck challenge. The other thing that I think is the most important thing and the most decisive fact was this is an infrastructure challenge, and this was an infrastructure elimination. And what I mean by infrastructure challenges is these are the challenges where go off into the Colorado Rockies with nothing but a coat and a pan and build a fire, and you're not going to have the luxury of all this technology.
And you're going to be barefoot too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those are, I mean, these are the infrastructure, which is this sort of make lemonade out of lemons. You're not going to have the sort of amenities you would have in obviously a finale or even most of the challenges. And that was sort of the thing. It is a vacation home. It is a lovely vacation home, but it is a vacation home with 2 ovens maybe. And it looked like they were not more than a handful of burners. And so you've got 11 chefs fighting over it. Now, Buddha, I thought was very smart at the beginning. He says, look, he saw that coming and he decided he was going to do a room temperature dish, right? Now, it didn't work out well for him, but not for that reason. Amar was very smart. He has obviously a hot dish. He has the ultimate dish. He has the big lamb braise. But he wisely chose a dish that allowed him to cook overnight at a low temperature. So he's not fighting for oven space during peak hours, right? Who ran into trouble? Who ran into trouble was the deferential, polite person who decided they were going to take another contestant's words for it, that they would have enough time to use the burner after them, right? Let's just say what happened on this episode. There was no throwing under the bus. There was no conflict. Nobody yelled at each other. No one called anybody out. But there are many other contestants whose emotional regulation is different from Begonia's, who could have ripped a new butthole for Charbel. Charbel, this is what happened on this episode, and the cameras didn't catch much of it, and Charbel was very nice. Oh, that isn't what happened. Like, she got screwed. She got absolutely screwed. It was very clear they had a deal, and the deal was he would fry up his vegetables, his eggplant, which takes for freaking ever, by the way. Eggplant never gets as tender as you want it, as quickly as you want it to, right? And when he was done, she would get the burner. It is very cliche. As she said, I was in the shit, right? Charbel screwed Begonia and was just fortunate that she had the good graces to just sort of take it lying down. And she took it lying down. And now she is in top. I think one of the three best chefs in the competition is now languishing in LCK.
Well,
because
Kevin,
Charbel screwed her. Now the counter argument would be you got to stand up for yourself. But she didn't stand up for herself.
You said lay down. She laid down. She laid down, and this is Top Chef, not Passive Chef, okay? If she wants to win this competition, she says, no, Charbel, I'm getting that burner first, and you can take it next. And here's why. That's her move. She had to have gotten that burner. She knows that she's playing with fire, no pun intended, once you're getting that oil secondhand. Who knows if it cooks properly? Who knows if she's going to be delayed? But you're running up against a gun when you're waiting for that pot to be turned over to you. That's a risk, and she had to have known that. Now, I agree with you. This was a
what's
team
she gonna do?
Someone's
going to go first, and what do you take the pot off? Do you just kind of? What at that point? What do you do?
You described her as deferential, and I'm saying yes, she was, but
someone had to go first. And I think the answer is don't. You need to create a dish that is not dependent on peak time fire usage or oven usage. I think that's the answer, probably.
Yes. Or, like Tom was doing his own, he had his own, like he was in the bathroom or in a closet somewhere where he was away from everyone.
Making the worst apple cake ever made.
You know what, Kevin? I'm going to ask you about this now that we're here. Not to just detour away from what happened to Begonia, because bless her heart, I'm so upset that she's
I'm
eliminated.
upset too. She's not my contestant, but I'm a fan. Like, as you know, I've coveted Begonia.
Tom had easily a bottom three dish, but because he had immunity, he was taking someone's spot in the bottom.
Now, typically, though, they have put the bottom three. See, this is where I wanted to ask you, and you're a better chronicler of Top Chef history. Typically, if I remember correctly, even if you have immunity, they'll throw you on the bottom three and criticize you.
It was clearly a shit dish.
And in fact,
I don't think anyone liked it.
It creates more tension at the chopping block, right? Because now you have a 50% chance if you're one of those other two chefs. So I was surprised as well to see him on the bottom. Though maybe the cake was dense, but not as bad as, I don't know, frankly, the green mole from Gabri or Buddha's salmon thing. It's a good question, but I was surprised as well.
Okay, so that putting that aside, back to Begonia. Begonia, her dish actually, even if she had all of the appliances and amenities and faculties at her disposal, all of that, facilities, I don't know what word I was going for there, any of that, just putting that aside, what did you think of her dish?
No, I reject this premise outright. When you are stressed, look what all the things she had to do. Number one, the chicken was dry. Why was the chicken dry? Well, she cut the chicken pieces in half. Why? Because they weren't going to cook quickly enough because she was behind in time. Everything we've seen from Begonia, from week one onward.
If you're going to do a curry sauce, you're not cooking it just like Padma said.
But cooking is a much more holistic thing than that, right? Like everything we've seen is this woman has zero time management issues. She is the Melissa Kang of this season, along with maybe Buddha, right? Like, she is cool as a cucumber. When you start running behind on time, she is a technical chef. When you have to start compensating in other areas. Oh shit, my chicken is not going to cook soon enough. Okay, I'm going to cut the pieces in half. Well, when you cut chicken pieces in half, now you lose some of the juiciness, right? You know, you don't have time to rest. Like it's just, I think everything about the dish was compromised by the fact that she was behind on time. So everyone loved her sauce. I have no doubt that the sauce would have been more integrated into the dish had she not been screwed by Charbel. This was an absolute screw job. And she had every right to go up on the judges' table. But, you know, it's kind of a bad look. Nobody likes that person, right? No one likes the person don't make excuses or no excuses. It's a competition. You're right. Like, she basically should have taken a shower curtain rod out of one of the guest bathrooms and whacked his head and taken his pot off the burner.
Or maybe just dumped the oil on his head and said, hey, this is boiling hot oil. This is my pot now.
That is what she should have done. She got screwed by Charbel, who was just dishonest. And, you know, he's up there in the testimonials like, oh, that's not what happened. Yeah, what happened is, dude, you lied. What happened is maybe not intentionally but you did not make good. You screwed another chef. You misrepresented the amount of time you needed on that burner. She even said something to the degree of, that's not what we talked about or whatever, right? Like, she screwed her. She is gone because she did not get promised burner space. Now, again, that's why I think the right play is Amar. That's why the right play is Buddha, even though he finished on the bottom. That's right. The right play is Victoire. Or even Sylvia had a very nice dish this week. You know, Sylvia Spud did her Easter borscht. Everyone loved it. But it's a soup, right? Like soup can kind of, it's not as sensitive to.
It was a safe dish, I felt like.
But it's safe both in a good way, right? Like it's safe in the, I'm not going to subject myself to the vagaries of a home kitchen that isn't big enough to accommodate 11 chefs, right? Like I think that is what you have to do in these situations. You have to choose dishes that just don't rely on the goodwill of when is that burner or oven going to open up, or what if somebody opens the oven while my very precise dish is cooking and it screws up the chemistry, right? Like you heard someone yell, no one opened that oven. I mean, what if someone had opened that oven? I think it might have been Nicole. It sounded officious, so I assume it was Nicole, right? Like I think that is sort of the thing. Like, so Begonia, she chose something that was very dependent on infrastructure, but she got screwed by the infrastructure and really by her fellow chef.
Okay, so Amar, I liked the little, from Marta, the little, and the winner is, and I was like, she's like, and in Spanish we say, you know, love is, and then it was the reveal, Amar, and Amar wins with his lamb shank, which as someone who has a leg of lamb or lamb, whether it's Greek Easter, whether it's Christmas, our family, we love lamb. We eat it as much as we can as a family. I love to see that from Amar. It was savvy. The overnight cook, the accompaniments were top notch. I was surprised he won it over Victoire. I thought she just, in terms of the surprise factor, in terms of the comfort food, I also thought she had a better story than Amar. And in terms of the holiday, the brief, as our guy from last week would call it, I don't think what Amar said had anything to do with a holiday. It was he went on vacation with one of his Moroccan friends, and then that's what he had. So it was a kind of a loose interpretation. I guess you could say I'm going on holiday, a vacation.
Yeah, but
anyway,
it's one of those. I mean, let's be honest. Like, make something from the holidays is sort of, no one's ever going to ding you on that. It's one of those challenges that's more of a guideline than a requirement. It's not like, hey, feature this vegetable or make something vegetable forward, right? Like, oh, no doubt he was just sort of like, I'm going to make a big ass braised lamb because I do this better than anyone. And by the way, like it's interesting. He does those sorts of dishes when you go to Vaca down in Costa Mesa, which is his restaurant. Like, he's really good at those meats. Like he got, like, I think, look, there's been a lot of team competition. There've been a lot of weird ingredients, cook with this smelly cheese. And Amar, clearly, this is my interpretation of sort of his decision, was just like, screw that. I'm going to make my food. I have not been able to make my food. I'm in this dreary country where all the produce is grown under armpits, and it's peas and smelly cheese and whatever. I like
smelly cheese, though.
No, I like smelly cheese too. It's just like it's been a weird. I think I love Top Chef. I love Top Chef season 20. But if you're a cheftestant, I think it's been a weird season. Like, he hasn't really had a chance to just freaking cook. He's like, I'm going to make a big ass lamb braise, and I'm going to do it my way. Oh, but it has to be a holiday food. Shit. Well, hey, you know what? This is what I eat on holiday. This is like,
Yeah.
he kind of fudged the definition, but to his credit, like, I think Amar was just at the point where it was like, dude, when am I going to be able to cook my freaking food? And
All right,
he did, and good for him.
He's got a little friendship with Ali. They seem to be hitting it off quite well. He gets in the top 3 as well with the symphony of the lamb kebab, which sounds delicious. I thought it was not as innovative as maybe some of the other dishes were, but apparently the flavors and the cook, everything was just perfect. And he finishes in the top 3 with Victoire. And I thought Victoire, she's like. I wouldn't say most improved but breakout Sara. I'm every episode of this season of Top Chef, I'm loving Victoire and her story more and more and more. She had a nice top 3 finish in the quickfire, and then a top 3 finish here. Team Haberstroh did lose Begonia this week, but a really strong performance. We swept the judges table. Yeah. And then at the bottom 3, Begonia obviously not happy about that. But can you imagine being Gabri when you're sitting or standing next to Buddha and Begonia, like at the judges table at the chopping block? He's got to be like, oh shit, like, oh my, like I'm going home for sure. He doesn't go home. Even though he had a tough cook with the memory of his father, and Gail, bless her heart, she had a real emotional moment there at the judges table as well. And he was able to power through. I'm not going to say he's a la cucaracha, but Gabri and the bottom 3 once again able to stay into the competition, and he continues to stay into the game. And Begonia goes home. Kevin, I wanted to ask you, this family style cook where they're all sitting at the table, did you feel like this was more interesting to you that all the cheftestants were eating each other's food? To me, I was actually a little confused on who would be in the bottom. I was trying to figure out because everything seemed so good and positive and flowery responses. The only time I got to tell, Magical Elves, was I think it was Buddha's dish, the salmon. You saw a cut away to Tom, and he had a very a look at from him where Tom just had this I'm not feeling it look to him when Buddha's dish was on the table. Did you have a bottom 3 going into the judges table? Did you have a sense that Begonia's and Gabri's and Buddha were going to be the bottom 3 dishes? Because I actually thought Tom was going to be in the bottom.
No, it was hard. I mean, as a general rule, I prefer chefs dropping off dishes, going back into the kitchen and having professional chefs dish about the dish, and beyond. Like, that to me is my favorite brand of elimination challenge, sort of prejudge judging. But I also appreciate that the show has to be diverse in sort of its formats, right? Like, you can't do that every week. Like, it's fun to have them sitting around a table together. There's a warm fuzziness that I think does imbue the show, and you have to kind of play that up every few weeks with doing something like, hey, it's a group dinner, or this is nice. It's not my favorite, and also because I enjoy kind of the running commentary. Like, we didn't get a lot of running commentary because everybody's being nice. No one's gonna like this lovely country home and everyone's sitting around a table. No one's gonna be like, dude, your salmon is just dog food, right? like no one's gonna say that. Whereas if it's like they go back into the kitchen and we're like, I'm wondering, it looked like they liked it, and then you've got the professional chefs who are just like, this is terrible, right? Like, so I do prefer the former format, but I think it makes it, to your point, it makes it much harder to glean. I mean, I had a sense that, I did have a sense that.
I want to hear your take on Buddha's dish, because Buddha, he made a salmon salad, but didn't tell the judges that he wanted a salad. They were actually pretty stunned. They were like, wait, that was supposed to be a salad. It was under-seasoned. But I also remember Buddha, in the initial conception of this holiday getaway challenge, he wanted to do a pork belly dish, and then he pivoted to this one. Had a lot going on. Didn't seem very. Didn't seem like it was working together. The salmon seemed like a separate dish, but once he explained, "Hey, this is a salad," it seemed to make more sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this, and boy, his stuff always looks beautiful. And I love salmon. Like, salmon's one of my favorite foods. I cook it here as much as I cook anything, right? That didn't look very appetizing. I mean, I don't want to eat a cold baked salmon with a bunch of trimmings on it. Like, it's just not a particularly it's not something I want to dig into. It's something
right. And
that
Tom Colicchio was like, "Hey, this is a little too chefy for me. I want a little bit more home cooking, which is a little."
I think he said
Buddha
what he actually
did take
said
issue
is,
with that.
What he actually said is you got caught in between, right? And that I thought was a really interesting observation. It was you got caught in between chefing it up and being a home cook. And I did think it kind of had the, hey, bring it to the potluck thing. It's a one platter meal. You'll eat it family style. And it did have the kind of chefy technicalities to it. But it's not that appetizing. I mean, Tom, if you were going to a buffet and those 11 dishes were put out, like, yeah, it's gorgeous looking. It's beautiful. And I mean, look, Buddha makes beautiful food. But
I am getting 10 spoonfuls of Sarah's brisket gravy greens,
right,
the lamb shank, and the probably Nicole's riff on the pork belly. Just like all of those, but I'm a sucker for just decadence, right? And so that wasn't that. And is it enough for you to think, hey, Buddha isn't my front runner?
I had no conception he would ever be on the bottom, just because I think he's generally so ridiculously good at this game and so talented that rarely does he make something that just doesn't, hey, even if he misfires on a concept or doesn't feature this or that, like, generally speaking, his food is just so delicious. So again, this is one of those problems where, again, as brilliant as the show is, it's hard when you can't taste it yourself. I'm just saying that, like, a baked salmon dish with a couscous, like yogurt salad with nuts and salmon roe. By the way, it's just hilarious that I love Buddha because salmon roe is delicious, but he puts it on everything. It's just awesome. I love that he puts it on everything. There's salmon roe in my fridge right now, marinating in sake and soy and mirin. So, like, I love salmon roe, but it's kind of hilarious that it ended up on that dish. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem as appetizing as his food usually does, or for that matter, many of the other dishes.
Hello, listener. It's producer Mays here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS. Hello, listener. It's producer Mays here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with a cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago. And I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
This episode is brought to you by 20th Century Studios' new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Golden Globe winner Jeremy Allen White and Academy Award nominee Jeremy Strong. Scott Cooper, the director of the Academy Award-winning movie Crazy Heart, brings you the story of the most pivotal chapter in the life of an icon. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Only in theaters October 24th. Get your tickets now.
This episode is brought to you by Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty believes your body is brilliant, naturally designed to thrive, inside and out. For those always looking for new ways to support your health from head to heels, Nature's Bounty has a range of over 400 vitamins and supplements born from 50 years of trust and care. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature. Visit naturesbounty.com to learn more.
Here we have Kentucky's own Chef Sara Bradley joining us on Pack Your Knives. Sara, we are so excited to have you on this week. Congratulations on making it this far in the competition. First things first, spreadsheet. Did you do this the last season? Did you do this starting this season? What's your point allocations? Tell me everything. I need to know it.
Okay, so Kelsey and I kept one together on the last season. It was fun and it was like a good thing. And then this time I decided, I'm going to do it again. So I kind of drew everybody out. I gooed 2 points for a win. 2 points for a win. One, nothing for middle. One for so 2 win, 1 top, 0 middle. -1 if you're in the bottom, -2 if you're disqualified. So like if you don't get all the food on the plate, you get some -2, and -2 if you go home.
Oh, wow. You got a DQ nice. Knock. I like this.
Yeah. Take, for example, like the time Begonia just didn't get it all on the plate. Like essentially, you could be going home for that. So I just count that as the same as an elimination.
This is great. we have a point system here too. We have 10 points for winning the elimination challenge, -5 if you're sent home, +5 if you're in the top 3. I think just in terms of proportion, we're kind of in the same ballpark. But your shading system. Okay, so you didn't have colored pencils. You just did like a fill in the blank. Like what was your strategy here?
Yeah, so I'm a chef, so I carry around a mechanical pencil and a Sharpie, and that's it. I hope you put this up so everybody can see it. So a W is a win, an X is an elimination. If your square is like colored in, then that was like a top, and if you're kind of like diagonal lines, that was a bottom. So
this is like scoring a baseball game, Kevin. Like this is.
So Sarah, is the purpose like it keeps you engaged in the competition part of the competition? Do you do this just kind of because as just like the way people at baseball games just do it because it's relaxing? I mean, like what was your objective here?
I think one, it was for the competition part of it, but also kind of took the competition out of like I kind of removed it all from me and made it like gave it like a little fun aspect. Like I remember on season 16, I couldn't remember what happened. Like who was in the top, who was in the bottom, like what happened later on. And Kelsey and I would flip back and we'd check in the book. But this time, at any moment, somebody could say, well, what happened? And I'd pop my book open, and every chef knew I had it. I'd pop my book open and I'd be like, well, you were in the top. This person was in the bottom. Like I had all the stats, all the deets right there.
I love this. Okay, so we're so excited to have you on to talk about this season, but let's just dive into this episode and this competition, this challenge. Look, the quickfire. We talked about it earlier. It was make a dish with mead and honey. You did the canary melon and mead kind of gazpacho dish. Just a couple quick thoughts on this and the quickfire, and then we can get on to the getaway in Kent.
My daughter really loves soup, and so every time I get to talk to her on the phone, she'd be like, "Make soup, Mom. You will win with soup, Mom." So I was like, "All right, I'll make some soup." I didn't win. I wasn't in the bottom. It was in the middle. But they said it was delicious. So
yeah, they said there was a honey gazpacho is what how he characterized it. Yeah.
Yeah. I went for like that kind of like sweet, chilled, cold soup. A strategy for me in the quick fires, you'll notice a lot of times I do cold food. Number one, everybody's competing for stove space. And if I don't have to do something hot, then I know by the time it gets to the judges, it will either be still cold or at room temperature. So it won't have lost like some of the, the quality, some of like what makes it so delicious. My fat's not going to seize up, things like that. So I go for cold dishes a lot in the quick fires.
Yeah, I mean, infrastructure was the big theme, like fighting for space, fighting for oven space, fighting for burner space was the huge theme for me, at least. And I want to get your read on the elimination. I just went on a rant during our commentary because I feel like Begonia was screwed. I feel like she had a gentle person's agreement with Charbel. Everyone's fighting over that burner space. He's going to do his vegetables and eggplant, and then she's going to get ample time. His stuff doesn't cook because nothing ever cooks when you want it to cook. And she basically was left holding the bag. But because she's a classy lady, she didn't like throw anybody under the bus. I mean, she was clearly frustrated. But like my feeling is she got screwed by a fellow chef. Not intentionally. He didn't do it maliciously. He just stuff didn't cook when the time frame he promised. And basically, she had to play catch up and the dishes didn't come together because that's what happens when you're playing catch up. Dishes don't come together. They don't have really time to kind of integrate. And that is my feeling. And to your point is that you subject yourself to great danger.
Yep.
You count on, I have to have this burner space or this oven at this temperature at this time. And the smart way to go is sort of do an MR like, let's do it overnight, or I'll do something room temperature. I mean, is my interpretation of what happened to Begonia sort of correct?
I think there were some, and I think there's always stuff that, doesn't get put on TV. I mean, I think you heard her say she cut the chicken in half because she was worried it wouldn't cook in time. So, I mean, that was, a flaw. The dish, the sauce was delicious. It was like a peanut kind of coconut tomato sauce, very yummy. The vegetables, the vegetables were good. The chicken was just dry, and you heard that in the thing. And I feel like this is a standard rule in Top Chef. Like, if 3 people have horrible dishes and one person doesn't nail the protein, that person's going home.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So, like it doesn't matter that other people, didn't do things as good. Like Gabri's fish was cooked perfect. They said they liked the way Buddha's fish was cooked. So when she messes up the protein, it's her. So I don't know. I also think that she had maybe some trouble just kind of connecting to the story. She said she didn't like to celebrate a holiday, and then she picked a holiday that she didn't really like to celebrate. So it's, kind of also what happened to Gabri. Like it had, heart, like it was a sad memory. It wasn't like a happy memory. So, it's hard to get behind that.
Gotcha.
On the episode, while you're conceiving of the idea of doing this like kind of potluck holiday getaway meal where everyone presents a dish, you were quoted as saying something like, so I guess we're not doing a comprehensive meal. So can you kind of put us at that table of who's the alpha in that conversation of like how we're going to do this whole potluck thing? And did it feel like to you that everyone eventually just like said, I'm going to fucking just do my dish. And then who cares if there's any sort of thread?
So a little background behind that. We were required to do 1 side dish and 1 dessert. Those were the only stipulations. Nobody wanted to do the side. I was like, I'll do the side, you guys. Like, I love side dishes. I think that's what makes family meal to me so good, is all the other little things. Tom took the cake because he had immunity. Nobody wanted to make dessert. If you look back, there were a significant amount of proteins. Really kind of the only people that did a side dish were Victoire with her bean stew, Sylvia with her soup, myself with the greens, and then Charbel did this like fried eggplant. Everything else was pretty much a protein. So it didn't feel super comprehensive. But I think just, I love a team challenge. Okay. I love a team challenge, but there has to be somebody that's like, you guys, we have to apply to the rules of what this challenge is, or else we're all going to get knocked for it. So, sometimes I'll speak up and be that person. Sometimes people don't like it, but that's all right.
Who's more, I don't want to say a kitchen tyrant, but who's more assertive, Nicole or Buddha?
Buddha. I mean, and it's not a bad thing to be assertive in a kitchen, I mean, this is why all of these chefs that are on this, this show and people that are cooking at this level, it's because we know what we want and we get what we want. And we make sure it happens. But I think Nicole's is a little different than Buddha's maybe, but I like Buddha's assertiveness. I think it works well for him. Plus he has it in that like very endearing Australian accent, so it's not so bad.
Whereas Nicole's is what, Canadian, and so it's delightful but passive aggressive.
And
when she named all her Tupperware,
I'm a huge Nicole fan. So
she's so funny, you guys. So funny.
So I've been doing kind of the cheapest brand of humor, which is like just taking digs at English food. Like I love watching the show this season try to dress up British food as being like, this is great. It's like, no, I mean, I think they should have probably leaned into the fact that, and they have a little bit, right? I mean, I just think, but how do you feel like, especially listen, you and I are both Southerners. We're both Southern Jews. Like, there's culinary tradition there. I'm just curious how you feel like the sort of London, England, like sort of food component of the show. I've just been so amused watching them try to like doll up pub food. It is just hilarious to me.
Well, it is. It's like, it is. It's like, take this classic and make it like super elevated. Like, I mean, that's kind of the shtick for Top Chef all the time. Like take wherever you are and reimagine it. I really have loved the collaborativeness that they've kind of brought, but to this episode or to this season, I guess. But yeah, it's odd because like the full English breakfast, you guys, that's just gross. It's just gross.
So
like baked beans, it's not good at all. Like it's not good, and so like just to some of that stuff. But I will say, while we're cooking all this food on Top Chef, because they have to feed us. So we're also getting like tons of takeout food as the chefs. And the takeout scene in London is absolutely amazing. Like you can get any ethnicity of food you want, and it's delicious.
Indian food in particular.
My sister, Dishoom. Yeah. Oh my God. Dishoom. That's the place.
How do you like the hotel? That's the hotel I stay at when I'm in London, because I'm a Kimpton Hotels person from my traveling sports writer days. Like, I love Russell Square and love being there. I'm just curious. Like,
I studied in Russell Square when I was there for a semester.
That is like I love that hotel, and it's been such a thrill every time they show you guys in the hotel. Like, that's my hotel.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's almost like you can't believe that buildings like that have ever existed. What's really funny though is like I had a really great size room, and I think that most of the other lady chefs had a great size room, but some of the gentlemen got stuck with like the little closet room like the twin with like the twin bed. You know, the like it was pretty funny, pretty comical, but the place itself was gorgeous.
All right, so you're going to Kent. The house is in the countryside. It looks like some sort of amazing estate because of the Verbo sponsorship. There was a $10,000 Verbo bonus on this episode. You come in with the side dish. You guys had that budget challenge, or the challenge of having under 1,000 pounds. Was it your idea to get the tequila to top off the whole buy?
I think we all grabbed a different bottle of booze and put it in our cart. And then when we got there and saw what we had left, we were like, all right, gin. Lots of people like gin, tequila. I'm actually not a huge tequila fan. I love mezcal, but tequila, I have too many college-based memories with tequila. And
Jose Cuervo, Montezuma's Revenge. Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Yeah, because it looked like so Gabri was talking about he was like, I'm a little hungover today. So was there a big party beforehand? And when there is a big party, are you like, guys, go ahead and drink that 6 shots of tequila, because I'm gonna be fresh and dandy tomorrow morning, and I am gonna sit this one out.
A couple of the chefs went to bed. I was not in that crew that went to bed on time that night. We had a pool, like a heated pool at the countryside of England with like a sauna right next to it. And a few of us stayed up pretty late talking and drinking and doing cannonballs. We had a good time.
Oh, there was no footage of the late night swim party. That's the thing.
I know.
I want to ask about
which was probably good.
I want to ask about Freight House and how it's doing.
Yeah.
I loved going to the Freight House menu and seeing the little Top Chef knife next to, you have, let's see, I'm counting 4 Top Chef dishes on the menu. Your Top Chef shepherd's pie, the cover crops, the cheese and crackers, and the everything salad is from the Kentucky season, right?
No, so the everything salad was like a plate.
Oh, yeah,
it was like a plate on the rice.
Oh, no, that was earlier this year. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we just also added, like, from the biscuit challenge, we added the dessert that I kind of put, and then we have things like, here I'm talking smack about full English breakfast, and we have like full English deviled eggs on the menu. Yeah, so it's so much fun to like get to cook these things, and we come back and we put them on the menu, and we get to tweak them to make them really delicious and not have to be like done in a 2-hour time limit. So we just keep putting them on. So as long as I'm on the show, I'll keep adding Top Chef dishes to the menu.
I love it. And Tom, there's these very cute little Top Chef knives next to those dishes. Kind of like Chef. Are you cooking for Passover?
I am. So
and what are you making?
Last night, I had a bunch of lamb shank coming out of the oven yesterday. I made Passover. I made matzo ball soup. I love to make matzo ball soup. It's one of my favorite things to make. Let's see I'll do harosis. My mother makes the chopped liver. We do brisket and onions. We do like the whole thing up.
Nice.
Yeah, Kevin just tells me that that break after the breaking the fast after Yom Kippur or whatever, that's the best holiday meal.
Yeah, I actually think that I have a controversial opinion, Sarah, that the breaking of the fast after you've not eaten for 27 hours is like the best holiday meal ever.
I went with Thanksgiving, but he went with that.
Because it's just like you just want to eat everything, and it's like, I mean, you're breaking a freaking fast. What's better than that?
I'm biased to Hanukkah as a Reformed Jew that grew up in the South. Our Hanukkah consisted of donuts, local donuts that they still use lard to fry the donuts, fried chicken, like potato latkes with apple butter and like sour cream.
Nice.
Like I'm partial to Hanukkah. Plus, it's a whole week of fried food, so like you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, it's true.
Wait, is that part of like lighting the menorah? Is you have to eat fried food? Like, what's the association there?
Things cooked in oil. Yeah, we're like thankful for the oil. So that kept the eternal lamp burning. So you eat everything fried. You like cook it in oil. And that's how you eat on Hanukkah.
It is a beige food holiday, basically, for 8 straight days. Did you grow up eating crappy like Barton's and Manischewitz Passover candy?
Of course.
And what was your favorite?
I love the little almond cookies.
Almond kisses. The almond kisses.
They're so good. My daughters pounded like probably each of them ate like 8 the other night. Like they were so excited for them. I love that. And I love gefilte fish too.
I do too. And I like a little sweetness. I need to come to Paducah. I would love to get I make chopped liver and I make damn good chopped liver. And I do the schmaltz and the whole deal. But I would like to get a lesson from you in the making of gefilte fish, because it's a little intimidating for me. And I've never really given it a full go.
I think the trick to like elevating your chopped liver is a little bit of sherry vinegar. Just a tiny bit. I mean, there's so much fat in there. It's so savory. Just a little vinegar.
It's almost like a pate in that respect, right? Like you almost treat it like a pate. Yeah. Nice.
So, Sarah, you returned to Top Chef while you're also trying to breastfeed and send the milk back to America. Can you walk me through did you hesitate to accept this invitation to do this season of Top Chef? And as a mother, you've spoken this season about like, I want to prove to the world that like, just because you just had a kid doesn't mean you can't, compete at the highest levels of this skill competition. And you can kick ass while you're doing it. So can you walk as someone that watched my wife just nonstop have these suction cups to her breast for like 6 months straight. It's a pain in the ass, and I can't. It just feels like to me that you're superheroes for even trying to do this, and doing the Top Chef competition on top of it. Just wow, like incredible.
I look back on it now and wonder like if it didn't ground me a little bit. I never like went in another room and pumped. I pumped right in front of everybody. I pumped on set in front of the chefs when we were being transported in BMWs. Like I didn't hold back. If it was time for me to pump, it was time. And I wonder if maybe it didn't like keep me connected to my children a little bit, because we all know they take you lose your cell phones, you lose, the news, the radio, you lose all that outside access. And so maybe it kept me grounded a little bit, but it was something that I just wasn't willing to give up. I wasn't, I knew that if I kept my milk supply up while I was gone, when I got back, hopefully I could jump right back into breastfeeding. And now my daughter's almost 18 months old and I'm still breastfeeding. So it worked. I didn't have to give that up.
Yeah. My wife called it liquid gold. And she was just like, I would never give that up. And that's just, to each their own, but, she definitely vibes with that notion. Now you get the invitation to go on Top Chef. Is that a moment of like 100% I'm going to do this? Or were you like, man, this is daunting?
So it was funny. We were upstairs. We were like trying to put the kids down for a nap or something. And I see this phone come up and I have it saved as like a Top Chef producer. So I answer it. I put it on speakerphone and he's like, Sarah, we were calling, just wondering if you were, consider this Top Chef. It's going to be international. And my husband's like over in the corner, like jumping up and down, silently screaming, yes, yes, yes. And we had talked about it before, like that if they ever called, like, we got to go back. We got to do this. It was so good for my business, for my community, for our family. So I just told them right there, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And they were like, you don't need to talk to anybody about this. I was like, no, I'm good. I'll do it. And I think they were shocked that I said it that quickly, but
come here.
When you know. So I knew that he would take care of everything at home. So I just got to go and compete.
How many years has the restaurant been open yet? No.
We have been open 8 years.
Wow.
Kevin, I was told by a certain Sarah that there is a nonstop to Charlotte. What is it? A couple times a day?
Sure. From American Airlines, major hub from Douglas.
Yeah, you can fly right to Paducah from Charlotte now.
We got to do something, Kevin. We got to make this happen. Whether you have to do a home,
we have to do a live podcast from the Freight House.
I mean, listeners out there, would you be down for like a little meetup in Paducah, Kentucky at the Freight House and do a little event with the Pack Your Knives crew? I mean, I can hop on a flight in the next 20 minutes and be in Paducah in like an hour and a half.
You can be in Paducah by lunch, yes.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
You guys come, we'll do the live podcast. I'll cook a bunch of food. We'll have a good time. We'll drink bourbon. We'll talk about why Kevin passed me up and didn't draft me until 7, passed me on the draft. We'll talk about that. Talk about that. My heart was broken.
This is the hardest part of hosting this show, is I'm paying for it. I have no good explanation. I don't know. I hope you prove me wrong.
First? Who did you take first? I can't remember.
Buddha.
Yeah, Buddha.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you took Buddha, and then so how are you guys faring in this draft?
Okay, so I have 83 points right now, and Kevin has 57. I took
May's departure really hurt me.
Yeah, May getting sent down to Last Chance Kitchen, and
where she has to cook pet rabbit, no less. So it's like.
Yeah, that was that. We'll talk about that. But yeah, Sarah, it was, Begonia and Ali were my first two picks. I got Charbel after winning the first episode. Actually, this was the interesting thing, Sarah. He won the first challenge, and yet he fell to 10 in our draft or whatever it was. I guess we weren't too enthused with Charbel's cook there, but he's been on my team, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, he is such he's just genuinely nice person. He is so sweet. It was fun to have him around.
I know we're like 5 episodes in. It seems like you've got lots of friends in that kitchen, but is there anyone that you just want to give a shout out to, especially for how much you love them on this season?
Sylvia, the potato girl. I mean, Sylvia has a daughter right around the same age as mine. Our rooms were right across the hall from each other in the hotel, and we just really got close really quick. We'd lay in my hotel room and drink wine and watch horrible British TV at night. She and I got super close, and she's outrageously funny.
I call her Sylvia Spud because potatoes in every possible dish imaginable.
Yeah, it's good. And, I think, Amara and I really got along well too. We don't always see eye to eye on everything, but he also had, young children. So, a young child. So I think we really got everybody. There's not one person on this season that I don't like. Like, there's not one person.
Well, you get along with pretty much everybody, because I'm watching your Instagram, and you're a mom, and yet you like to do videos where you show the proper way to shotgun a beer,
Yes.
Yep. Which now in the last few years with the pandemic, chefs have had to kind of really lean into the Instagram videos and like being a personality. It seems to work really well with you as a person. And then you did, leading up to the season, you did
my Rocky training videos.
Your Rocky video, which was very well produced. I need to know more about this.
That was probably the first exercise I'd done postpartum. I think my baby was she was like 9 weeks old, and I'd had, my second C-section. So I'm like running in front of the river at downtown Paducah thinking like, oh God, this is so hard. But, I like to have fun with it. Like, it's funny to me to think like, how do we take Rocky? And then, I like go in the walk-in and like, pound on the little tiny steak and, I could not drink the raw eggs like he does. I tried and tried. I couldn't do it. So I had to scramble. And like, I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of humor in cooking. And I think that your food tastes better when you cook that way. And so I just embrace it. It's a good time. And I have a great team that helps me make all those videos too.
So what was your situation? I like raw eggs. Like it's just what's the turn off to you? Just as like this the texture.
Wait,
what do
like
you
you
mean
want to
raw
like
eggs?
crack them? You want to like crack them in a cup and drink them?
Oh yeah, I mean I love I love raw.
By the
Sarah,
way,
I love raw chicken too. So
he likes raw chicken. Like he likes undercooked chicken.
Like
So
raw,
actually, he would have
raw
loved
protein
Vigoni's
in
dish.
general, but you just couldn't get it down. It was the
Yeah, I couldn't get it down. It was like, it's like that's the way I looked when I was drinking those raw eggs is the same way I look when I'm trying to take a shot of tequila. Like I just can't do it.
I'm with you on tequila.
Oh no, it's an easier hangover. So when I, as someone who's married to someone who grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, and her dad went to UK and has the John Calipari. I don't know if you know this, Kevin, but you can get like a John Calipari Kentucky themed Maker's Mark at Costco, and for like $28.
The bottle is in the shape of John Calipari.
It's like a statue of John Calipari. No, but like I feel like bourbon hangovers are harsher than tequila ones for whatever reason, and so I've started to drinking more tequila. But I'm with Sarah. I much prefer a mezcal.
When you're 50 years old, all hangovers are terrible, except sake. Sake, for whatever reason, is just like the magic alcohol, but it just does not hang over. But it's all terrible.
You know, I got to tell you guys.
Sarah's got to go, but I know she's probably just like, I don't get hangovers. What are you talking about? Like,
no, I get a hangover. Oh my God. And what's worse about a hangover now is that you have to like wake up and still do like the parent stuff. You can't just like lay in bed all day and, you know, eat Cheetos. You have to like get up and like go to dance class and make breakfast and like do all of those things. That's the worst part about hangover now. Yeah.
And somehow the kids don't realize you're having a hangover, or they do, and they're just being extra awful that morning. So you're just like, oh, can you just, no, please do not scream. Please do not spill that. And then it inevitably happens. Sarah Bradley, thank you so much for making time for us this week. It is such a joy.
I love visiting with Sarah.
We're gonna have to do something in Paducah. I'm putting it down on the calendar. We're gonna make this happen. It's a quick flight from Charlotte. It's probably a quicker commute from Charlotte than it is from Louisville, right?
Yeah. It's super fast. You're like one of those little planes. By the time you get up, you come right back down.
Awesome.
Thank you, Sarah. I'll hit it on the way home from Atlanta. That's what we'll do.
Yes,
This will be great.
Come to Paducah. We'll talk game theory and variants. Those are like the things that I'm into when I watch like competition cooking shows. Come and we'll chat it up.
Love it. From Freight House in Paducah, Kentucky. You got to go, everyone. You got to go, and you can try some of those dishes that Kevin mentioned on the menu. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll shotgun a beer soon. Okay.
All right. Bye, boys.
Tom, we have Last Chance Kitchen, apples and peas and cheese and all other Brit ingredients, including rabbit, which, you know, while a staple in certain parts of Northern Europe, we learned is a pet it's pet everywhere, but May made pains to state that this is essentially asking her to cook a pet. This is not something she would ever cook, and you could sense from the very beginning it was sort of an uphill battle.
You know, the old, like, it looked like you were so upset out there, it looked like someone killed your dog. Literally, it looked like May was someone had just killed her dog or killed her pet. And that was exactly what had happened in this episode. Is she is now, as Tom lifts up the whatever you call it, and there it is, the rabbit, her just everything in her being just was sad face, terrified, all of it. And she had to go cook this poached roulade, which actually didn't really pan out for her. She did the mascarpone cheese, and so did Dale. Actually, he did the feta cheese with espuma and apple. It didn't feel like it was very seasoned. Actually, Tom didn't like the seasoning on the dish. It felt even though everything was technically cooked well, he felt that the feta actually wasn't as strong as it needed to be, which is ironic because feta is as salty as a cheese as it gets. Luciana comes in with the miso sauce, the sake, the dish with, it seemed a little, at first a little too salty, I think Tom said it was, and then it kind of mellowed out as he continued to eat it. But Kevin, the big thing here is I don't know if Dawn is made for the peanut gallery. She didn't seem so
Dawn
happy.
did not look like she was having a good time. I mean, we've always sort of stated there has to be something truly miserable about having to hang around and be a spectator, and then like being filmed as a spectator. Like I can imagine myself being in that situation, being like, look, I understand the indignity of losing and having to hang out or be sequestered, but now you make me just watch the losers bracket. Like it's but yeah, Dawn does not look like she's having a great time in the peanut gallery now.
Yeah,
and I don't blame her.
Yeah, I don't blame her too. It's probably more fun when there's like a whole cast of Peanut Gallery, when it's just you and Samuel, who you barely even know at this point because he was eliminated in the first episode. Just not a lot of sparks flying there in the Peanut Gallery. But with the rabbit challenge with the cheese, apples, and peas, Luciana wins. She gets a +1 because she moves on in Last Chance Kitchen. Dale moves on with his espuma dish, and he comes in with +1. Moving on in the competition, May gets sent home. I feel like we're going to see May in another episode or another competition, another season of Top Chef, because I think she got the short end of the stick on this season. I think she can show a lot better than the opportunities that she was granted.
Yeah, I do too. And again, I think someone who got a little bit punished by team competition. Yes, I'm making excuses, but I just feel like we didn't get to see the full range there. I think she's incredibly talented, and it broke wrong. First, she gets put with Dale and pub food, and then she has to cook a pet, and that's a lot to ask anybody.
So The big news here, Tom, saying that there was one more Last Chance Kitchen. Of course, we're recording this ahead of time, so we're not actually knowing who is going to be re-entering the competition. We're an episode behind on Last Chance Kitchen, but one of the three, Dale, Luciana, or Begonia, is going to be moving back into the competition, out of relegation, moving in and promoted to the big leagues once again. I'm rooting for Begonia. But you know what? Luciana is on Team Haberstroh as well. So Dale, I know you're rooting for him to get back in, but this is very big upset. Begonia out. I think this is the 5th episode of Top Chef season 20. Many people had her as the favorite. Can she get back into the competition? Thank you to Sara for joining us. Go check out the Freight House. Kevin, no Begonia, but we are going forward in this season 20 All-Stars. We're leaving Kent, going back to London presumably, and Paris isn't too far away. It is a season of parody.
Yes, we look forward to the channel. For Tom Haberstroh, this is Kevin Arnovitz, and this is Pack Your Knives.